You will not be able to stay home, brother.
You know it's hard out here for a pimp when he tryna get this money for the rent, for the Cadillacs and gas money spent. We'll have a whole lot of bitches jumping shit. You know it's hard out here for a pimp when he tryna get this money for the rent, for the Cadillacs and gas money spent. Will cause a whole lot of jumping shit. You know it's hard out here for a pimp when he tryna get this money for the rent, for the Cadillacs and gas money spent. Will have a whole lot of jumping shit.
What's going on, party people? It's your man, 50 Grand, the Godfather, Nate Milton, and you are about to listen to another excellent episode from the Nefarious Media Network. Since January of 2025, we have been putting it down for the crown, and we've been committed to bringing you truthful, thoughtful, turned-up commentary as it pertains to the worlds of sports, politics, pop culture, pro wrestling, entertainment, and life. Yes, life. This thing that we are all just trying to get through day by day. An electric word called life, as the man used to say. And that brings us to the drive for 500. Yes, 500 YouTube subscribers, which gets us halfway to monetization, and 500 Patreon subscribers. Patreon.com/Nefarious Media Network. That's our stretch goal for the year. Because if we hit those marks, it allows us the flexibility and the freedom and the funds, quite honestly, to do some more things here at the network, to be more consistent with our shows, to bring you new shows, and to bring some people on to help with production. So if you believe in us, man, if you believe in what we're doing here, because we got a lot of hard-working people, myself included, working 50, 60 hours a week at the shoot jobs, got families, got kids, got responsibilities, but we still do this, man, because we love this and we believe in this. And if you believe in us and you love the shows that we do, help us out, man. Help a brother out. Help a sister out. That's all we asking, because we are trying to change the game by any means necessary, even if those means may be nefarious.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening.
Welcome to another installment of the Styles Break Fights podcast, featuring two-way Ray Williams and main event Jay Linsky, brought to you by Nefarious Media Network. Hi. It's your boy Two-Way Ray. I'm Ray. He's Jay. And we're here with another installment of the Styles Break Fights podcast. Brother Jay, how you doing?
Man, I am good. I'm probably better than Connor's feeling right now, but we'll get back into that, bro. He got his SWV on. I get so weak in the knee, but hey, we gonna talk about that. But other than that, bro, I'm living good, man. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. Can't complain. Aside from the obvious, it was a good night of fights last night, but we'll definitely get into everything involving UFC 329, as well as some other news, some things that may have went under the radar that I covered in the debut installment of this week in MMA. But if we have enough time, we'll get into those actions, including the PFL hiring a new chief of communications officer, and also all of the updates involving the current, I forgot what to call it, class action lawsuit. Yeah, there we go. We keep it on this. Class action lawsuit between Cajun Johnson's class and Zuffa / TKO / the UFC. So, but before we get into any of that, of course, we got to talk about what was the talk of the week. That was International Fight Week leading into UFC 329, which was headlined by Conor McGregor versus Max Holloway 2. The rematch. Everybody / nobody was looking forward to. But everyone was looking forward to the return of Conor McGregor 5 years after his last performance inside the octagon, after he broke his left leg. He's returning. Everybody was hyped up as usual. We're not gonna mention anything about what happened to Conor within those 5 years, any legal issues or legal troubles. We're just gonna act like it's water under the bridge, and Conor McGregor has a new life. He turned his life over to the Lord. Everything is all right now, isn't it? I don't think so.
Insert record scratch.
Oh, I had one better. Here we go. Where is it? I need to bring that record scratch. Exactly. That's exactly what I was like, man, I was thinking about that before we started recording. I was like, he needs some milk sound. I was like, I don't want to take any longer than necessary. But yes, let's just say things did not go as planned. So, Brother Jay, in that main event, Conor McGregor loses via TKO due to an injury stoppage by the referee. He is possibly torn an ACL or meniscus, whatever it is. It's involving his left knee, and it is presumed to have happened seconds into the fight when Conor McGregor went to throw a leaping roundhouse kick, landed awkwardly on his right leg. In doing so, he kind of crumpled a little bit to the ground, ended up getting his footing again, tried to throw a regular roundhouse, crumpled again. Max Holloway tried to lay in some shots from the top as Conor McGregor was on bottom in open guard. He allows Conor to get up. Max Holloway throws a kick. And then Conor, in trying to retain his balance, he ends up getting up gingerly, and the referee decides to call the fight. I believe 1 minute, 6 seconds into the very first round. Max Holloway wins via TKO stoppage. How did you feel? I think my rundown was longer than the fight, Brother Jake.
It was, and you did better than what Conor's effort was. Unfortunately, man, this thing was built up and hyped up to be this massive fight. And I mean, it would have been great to see what could have been. It would have been awesome to see how somebody that's approaching 40 responds after being outside the octagon for 5 years, and that in and of itself, bro. He decides to do something that he could have done 10 years ago and fails fabulously, and you never want to see anybody get injured like that. You don't ever want anybody to, I mean, we watch these fights for our entertainment, and they put their lives on the line literally for our entertainment. And at the end of the day, he's an athlete. He's got a family to feed and family to look after, just like Max Holloway does. And the human side of me is like, dang, that sucks. But the other part of it is like, is this karma at play? I mean, after everything that he's been doing outside the octagon, all the lawsuits and everything that he's been facing, could this be karma at play? And if it is, I'm staying out of her way. You know what I'm saying? Just hey, do what you gotta do. Let that, let it run its course and do whatever he's got to do to pay penance. But yeah, man, I feel bad. Number one, for everyone that paid to travel out to Las Vegas to watch this event, because I said it a few episodes ago. The UFC is doing WWE better than WWE at this time, because what a flat ending to a fabulous night of fights, and yikes, that sucks, man. And I feel bad for Max, for Max Holloway as well too, because he had a fight camp he was preparing for. He had that suit on. His family was fitted. I mean, obviously they came in tight to death. They were fitted, and he was prepared to redeem that loss. And that's not the way I would envision him wanting to take that. And he expressed that after the fight as well too. So yeah, let me ask you this. Actually, I'll get your reaction first, and then I got a question for you regarding Conor.
All right. Well, you were talking about the blessed family. Yes, they were suited and booted. Even little Rush, he gets big, almost as big as his daddy.
Yeah, look at him, man.
Yeah. But yeah, I echo all the sentiments that you have, my brother. Very disappointing. I can't say I'm shocked. I'm actually surprised he got in the cage. I think we talked about it. We talked about it last month. I was betting that he wasn't going to get in the cage one way or another. He wasn't going to make it again. Similar to his canceled bouts with Michael Chandler that were supposed to have happened about a couple of years ago. So I was like, somehow, some way, he not gonna make it in there. Then even when the walkout was happening, I'm like, he ain't go. It's still a chance. And then this is just, I mean, like you, I'm not gonna rain on somebody's parade. I'm never going to wish injury on anybody. But yeah, I'm just like, this is like, he might as well not even got in there. If within the first 10 seconds he gets hurt. And I do want to pose this to you. I know you had a question about. That's one. All right. I'm still there. All right. Might have been my internet quickly. Can you hear me, Brother Jay?
Yep, loud and clear. Got you.
All right. We're gonna keep all this in. I don't like editing it like that. Do you think, and there was, I think, even though this is the best way that you could get somebody to believe the opposite, when you tell somebody that, oh, we're not doing something a certain way, then that's pretty much like reverse psychology for most people. So immediately after the fight, John Anik on the broadcast proceeds to go to a clip within the prep zone right before fighters get into the cage, and he prefaces by saying, we are not speculating about anything, but we are giving this video to you without any commentary. And then it proceeds to show Conor kind of slipping while trying to take his shoe off. And I think it was mainly on like the right leg. But so it's got some people insinuating about if he was coming into the fight with an injury already. What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I saw that same clip, and it did look kind of, gingerly, but he was acting strange leading up to getting into the cage. Even when he got into the cage, Conor was he was acting super suspect, man. And then I'm not a conspiracy theorist at all. But before, they do the announcements of, the fighters, they flash an update on the screen, and a bettor put $900K on Max Holloway, and if that were to hit, he would win 1.2 mil. Okay, so I see that, don't even think nothing of it. Then I see Conor McGregor do his best Jackie Chan, Jet Li flying kick. That's not in his arsenal. That's not what he typically does anyway. He does that, and then he starts slipping all up, on the canvas. I'm like, did he like step on something? Like, did he get Vaseline on his heels, or what's happening?
Right.
Then they call the fight off. I'm like, dude, that was the easiest 1.2 mil that one person had made ever. And I'm thinking, wow, somebody must have got some insider tip, allegedly, because that's too convenient, for not even 2 minutes worth of work, really, if you want to call it that, to go on Polymarket and then to, recoup that, So I thought that was pretty odd. I thought the, the warm up, as they were, in between fights, are showing Conor McGregor warming up with one of his trainers, and he wasn't even throwing a punch. He was just, like gliding from left to right, going, pairing, basically going, shuffling left to right or whatever. No punches thrown at all. Not a strike,
right.
Nothing. He was just, parrying. And hindsight, again, being 2020, that was kind of odd to me too. So the question I wanted to ask you is like, okay, Conor got to the cage, they closed the cage, start the fight. Are we going to see Conor McGregor back in the octagon, regardless of rematch or not? Do you think that we've seen the last of Conor McGregor, or do you think that he's going to come back and hopefully get one more shot at closing this chapter, retiring on a high note versus, having this happen, another injury?
A quick answer: he's done. No, he's not coming back. He's the like I said, I was surprised he came back yesterday. I'm thinking there's no way he's coming back. He's getting older, and whether or not he came in the fight with an injury is irrelevant to me. It's just his body's getting older. They're showing all these highlights of him, but they're not. I mean, the job of the UFC is to promote the fight, to get people to have their eyeballs tuned into the fight, whether in person or on Paramount Plus. They're not going to tell you, oh, all these highlights happened 10 to 12 years ago. They're not going to tell you, oh, well, he suffered this, and so he's most likely not the same. They're not going to tell you he's lost 3 out of the last 4 of his fights. Like, they're not going to tell you all that stuff. They want you reminiscing on what Conor used to be. And then that's what sells the fight. But they weren't fooling me. I'm just like, even if nothing happened with his leg, I just thought he's gonna get destroyed by Max. Like, and that was my whole thing, is that he relies on his power, and he relies on his power to an extent, but he also relies on the technique and the quickness that he puts things together. But that stuff, even without injuries, like the quickness and the speed tends to slow down when you age. And that added to injuries, especially, and I think I heard someone, they were talking about speaking with Chris Weidman, who had broke his leg and then came back to fight. And then he was just saying how, man, I was so reticent and reluctant to try anything with the kicks. And then once I threw that first kick, I was like, okay, I'm back into it now. I'm good. So like all that stuff, and over a span of 5 years, all that stuff creeping up on you. And it's like, you're already getting older. He's 37. It's like, so the usual wear and tear that goes onto the human body when you get into your upper 30s, early 40s, that's weighing on you. Then you have previous injuries. Those things are weighing on you. Then you have in your mind, am I as good as I once was? So I think, and then even though Max is older himself, he's younger than Conor. He's also been more busy and been more consistent with fighting than Conor. So I just thought if Conor wasn't able to land something heavy and put him down, because Max really doesn't get finished by knockout.
No.
Like he usually either get dragged down with the wrestling. Yeah, I don't remember. There might have been something recently, but Ilya pretty much knocks out almost everybody. But I think that might have been the first time that Max lost, if not the only time that Max lost by knockout, was to Ilya. So he doesn't get knocked out that often. Usually, if you're going to beat him, you're going to have to use your wrestling and get him down. People are talking about the first fight. Conor was able to bring him down, but that was like Max Holloway's first or second fight in the UFC. So you got a young guy who's still getting his feet wet within the largest MMA organization in the world, and then fast forward, he goes on like a 13 fight win streak, and he's just destroying cats. Conor didn't face that guy. It's kind of like when Mayweather faced Canelo. It was like, yeah, he faced a version of Canelo. He didn't face like prime Canelo.
Right.
So, I just thought McGregor didn't have a chance either way. It's unfortunate that things happened the way that they did, but yeah. As far as whether or not, I believe I was kind of thinking that, and I was putting 2 to 2 together, like you saw with the poly market bet. I was like, this can't be just no coincidence. They put this up and that happened. and that had my mind rolling too. Is like, are they going? I think there's something fishy afoot. I think they shouldn't pay anybody out. I think there should be like, oh, we'll just refund everybody who bet, just refund their money, because like there's no way it's just too convenient that something like that happened. I'm not gonna say he came in the fight. I thought about it. I'm not gonna say with absolution that he did, but something's fishy. I don't know. Speaking of something fishy, Sophie Cunningham. Take that as you will, folks. But WNBA player and now newly minted MAGA grifter Sophie Cunningham was out at the post-fight press conference when asked about when it was decided that Sophie Cunningham would work as a ring card girl for the fight. Dana White responded 8 minutes before she actually went out there. So
wow.
So apparently they knew each other prior. They were acquainted already, and then she just went up and asked him, and he was like, sure, whatever. So
I wish I had a flag to throw. I'm calling shenanigans on that. 8 minutes before? Nah, bro. Nah. So we just letting everybody up in the octagon. Okay.
Right? Speaking of
TKO.
Speaking of just letting everybody in and around the octagon, like imagine this sounds like one of those jokes when they're like, imagine a Christian, a Jew, and a Muslim walking to a bar. I saw Tucker Carlson sitting next to Mike Tyson, sitting next to Vince Vaughn. What are we doing?
And Vince Vaughn was sitting next to Mel Gibson. So yeah. Oh man, this is America.
Yes. Don't catch you slipping. No.
Don't care.
Only keep tripping. But yeah, I don't think he's coming back. How about you? You think he's coming back to try to make good, try to save face, one last hurrah?
I don't think. I'll say this because I really think that he's not done fighting. I don't think it'll be on the UFC circuit. It'll probably be a Netflix thing, honestly. Because Netflix is trying to get something up off the ground. Conor likes to line his pockets. I don't think the UFC is going to invest the marketing to push somebody who's now going to be called injury prone. They're not going to put the marketing dollars behind that. Netflix is always looking for live content. We just saw Ronda Rousey do numbers, and they need something. And I think a Conor McGregor, just the curiosity of seeing what could be with this fighter. I think Netflix would, back up the Brinks truck just to get him on their card in the future. I don't think, like I said, I think he will fight again. He doesn't have the hunger. That's his problem. When he came to the UFC, his ribs were touching. He was hungry. He had nothing, and then all of a sudden he gets paid. And once you get a little bit of money actually reveals who you are. You know what I'm saying? He didn't change. That's who he's always been. So once he got some dollars in his pocket, he was like, I don't have to do this no more. So that's why we were seeing the version of him, because there's no hunger. I don't think that he has no need to fight. He's set. So again, if he wants to, get that paycheck, I think it will be not in the UFC. It will be elsewhere. And I would think it would probably be on the Netflix fight card. On a Netflix fight card, I should say.
Yeah, well, it's funny that you mentioned that, because also all throughout the card they were playing ads, and there was one particular ad where Conor was in a fat suit sitting back eating food, and then he gets messages on his phone that's saying, "Hey, look at the bets, man. It looks like they're counting you out." And then one of the ads, how apropos you mentioned MVP, one of the quote tweets or quote posts was Conor's one loss away from fighting a Paul brother. So
saw that.
So that might be art imitating life, brother Jay. Who knows? Like you said, he ends up on MVP, either boxing Jake Paul or end up fighting somebody in the MMA cage. I don't know, man. I think with everything going around him, especially with all this stuff, first off, you pretty much, it seemed like you stealing my lines, brother, bar for bar from last night, brother. As I essentially said the same thing. That he's lost the hunger. What does he have left to fight for? You can't recreate that, no matter how many times you shave your head into a mohawk, just like you used to do, no matter how many times you play the Sinead O'Connor or the Gaelic tune right before the Biggie comes on. It's like you got to have that already in you. And I mentioned this quote last night. I believe it was former welterweight boxing champion, Marvelous Marvin Hagler, who said, it's hard to get up in the morning it's hard to get up early in the morning to do road work when you're sleeping on satin sheets. And in Conor McGregor's case, it's probably Versace sheets. So like you said, he was hungry before, and trust me, bro, I was a huge Conor fan, huge Conor fan when he was coming up. And just his story, just this brother was on welfare. This brother was sleeping in his car. This brother had to come up. His longtime girlfriend, Dee Devlin, was with him every step of the way, right? And so then you're working up, you get into the UFC. Then he had a pretty big injury after his first couple fights that put him out on the shelf for about 6-8 months. But then he comes back. he has this big card in Ireland against Diego Brandao, and that really puts him on the map. And then before you know it, he's like just skyrockets up, like gets the big win over Dustin Poirier in their first fight. Then I believe he fought Dennis Seaver, had a big win over Dennis Seaver that pretty much shoots him into the number one contendership. He goes out and he barks at our guy Jose Aldo, who's the champion at that time. They have their worldwide tour where Conor's just antagonizing the whole way. And so then he achieves his destiny. One fateful left hook as he's countering, and that's all she wrote. And now he's like an international superstar, not just in the sport of MMA, but now he's like everywhere. And so, like you said, exactly what I said yesterday. Money doesn't change you; it only makes you more of who you are. So exactly what you said. And then now I'm seeing after he won that fight, and then he goes up to 155, wins that belt off of Eddie Alvarez, and then he's just clowning, man. It's like he's out getting these custom suits. I think he got like some Versace dishware. I'm like, I didn't even know they make dishes. And like he's just going out. He's enjoying the fruits of his labor, but then he's getting caught up with stuff. And he's mentioned before, or now he started mentioning with his partnership to create Proper 12 whiskey, how drinking started becoming more of a thing in his life. And people also speculate possible drug usage as well. And then he gets caught up in all these different strings of things. It's like, it's funny how all these things are happening and you're the common denominator, brother. I think something's going on. Like there's a woman who said she had to jump off of a boat to get away from you trying to abuse her, and you punching people because they won't drink your whiskey, and then you punching doggone random NBA mascots in the face. Like, what is going on? And then we get to the whole thing around Nikita Hand, whose accusations are just brutal and gruesome, and just to hear the details. Like I can't even hear the word forceps without cringing anymore. Like after hearing her story and everything that's going on with her, now of course everybody's going to be a devil's advocate and say, oh well, how you know Conor did that, or how you know the boyfriend didn't do that. And there is a slight chance that might be true, but the courts held Conor civilly liable for sexual assault, and he lost his appeal. So it's like, now, other than money, what else do you have to fight for? Because if you're only fighting for money, we've seen this story before, it's not going to bode well for you. If all you're doing is fighting for money, you got to have a higher purpose. And he was trying to say all the right things and saying, I gave my life to God and gave my life to Christ. Yet you're saying, oh, the truth will be told. He's still maintaining his innocence throughout everything. So it's just like, I don't know, man. I think I started falling out on him as a fan once I started seeing that stuff. Once we started getting caught up with that legal stuff, and then like even before Nikita Hand, I was just like, no, brother, it's like, this isn't what made me like you. Then what made me like you was that your pure intention within the sport and getting yourself together and like having some introspection about yourself. And people always go to the Mystic Mac and go to his hubris, but when he gets to those post-fight press conferences, one of the things that he says, and it always stuck with me, and I think it was after his first fight with Dustin Poirier, He says, I'm confident in my preparation. I'm cocky in my prediction, but I'm always humble in victory or defeat. And we saw that even with the fights that he had with Nick Diaz. We saw that, like, when he lost, he went out there and he faced the media and he talked to them. He was like, hey, if I'm gonna face you when I'm up, I'm gonna face you when I'm down as well. And so, but like you said, money makes you more of who you are, or it might just reveal even who you are. And you probably didn't think that was in you until you got, like, it's funny how if $10 million lands in your lap, $20 million lands in your lap, the decisions that you thought you would never make before, and now you're making these types of decisions. So, yeah, I just hope he gets himself together. I know he's tried to go into different avenues so where he didn't have to fight in order to make revenue, but I think he closed out all this stuff, especially after the stuff with Nikita Hand. I think he closed out his portion of Proper 12, and so he's no longer affiliated with that. He's trying to do, I think when he was up with the one of the press conferences, he wanted his dog on. I think it was like a solo press conference that he was doing during fight week. He was like, "Oh, bring out McGregor fast. Bring out my energy drink." I was like, "Ain't nobody getting that energy drink." So, and then just think, like, and then he tried the acting thing, and I think I thought he was decent. I didn't see the new Roadhouse. I want to see it, but I heard good things, and I thought he was going to get into acting. But again, all these challenges, no one's going to lay a hand on you with all these things around, like hovering around your orbit. So, yeah, like you said, it may be time to head on over to MVP.
Yeah, two things before we go on to the other bit of the card. So you said McGregor fast. I mean, he stayed true to that. I mean, that fight was really quick, real quick. And then check this out. So he enters the cage. He does what? The McMahon strut. So he's doing that in full effect. And it reminded me, after, again, hindsight's 2020 for me, when Vince McMahon does his strut down the aisle and blows out both of his quads, boom, he blows out his knee. He blows out those alphabets, man. It's all bad, bro. But again, I feel bad for the people that that prepared for the fights. You know what I mean? Wishing McGregor a speedy recovery. Hope he gets himself together, like you were saying too. And again, I just feel bad for those people that pay top dollar for those tickets only to have that ending of the night happen for him. So, dang.
I don't. I mean, you had the first 4 fights were great.
Oh, absolutely.
But I don't feel bad at all. Like, what were you expecting? Like, yeah. Even like I said, even if he didn't get injured, I thought he would have got washed. He would have got destroyed. So
I would have loved to see that versus him, buckle his knee. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that is true.
That would have been more satisfying.
Yeah. And it's interesting that you do make that connection between himself and Vince McMahon, because I made another connection with that. It's funny, he does the Billy Strut. He's also now aligned himself with 45, 47. Yeah, it's all about the company you keep. And it's has me thinking, other than being white, what else do those brothers have in common? Think about it. All right. Well, all I can say, I know, I think we said this even prior to us coming on. We were going to spend 30 minutes just talking about Conor itself. We spent about 40. But I do want to go ahead and shout out Max Holloway, because I think he doesn't get enough credit and he deserves. We talked all this time about Conor. Let's talk about Max Holloway. This brother is just one of the greatest. if Conor is one of the ills of this sport, as far as folks, even though he's the biggest personality in the sport, if he's kind of like one of the most negatively associated folks with our sport, I think Max Holloway is on the opposite end of that spectrum. I think he's one of the most beloved figures in the sport. He doesn't get enough credit. Former featherweight champion, former BMF champion, even though BMF ain't a real bill. I just love this guy, man. And it's a shame, like, he tried to tell referee Mike Beltran, no, something's wrong. Come get him. Something's wrong with him.
Yeah.
And for him to kind of let up, because when Max gets in there, he ready to go. He fitting to throw hands.
Mm-hmm.
And so when he acknowledges that and he's trying to take mercy on you, that takes another level of just kindness and awareness of the situation, and not wanting to, like, I'm sure he wants to hurt him as far as testing himself with each other's skills, but once you see somebody is injured, like, you don't want to add any more to that, right? Like, and it kind of had me thinking, like, even before the fight was stopped, I'm like, all right, don't end up like your boy Yuri against against a one-legged Carlos.
Yep. Yeah. I agree with you on that, man. I think we should be putting more respect on Max Holloway's name, because number one, he represents the Hawaiian culture 100%. I mean, you could just see his passion in representing where he's from and representing his family. So respect to him for that. Respect to him for, I guess there's some kind of fighter's code, he was looking out for his, fellow combatant, and he was saying something's wrong with this man.
Yep.
And I guess he was in one of the post-show interviews. Holloway was saying that Conor was saying, fight me. And, respect to Max. I mean, he could have easily just took the ground and pound and just handed him two-piece after two-piece. But, saved him from, that kind of embarrassment, because it would have been a huge, massive black eye, literally and figuratively, on McGregor's career if that were to happen. But, just the sportsmanship that he displayed on a worldwide platform, kudos to him for that.
Yeah, and even when they stood up and he threw that leg kick, he was trying to prove to the ref, he's like, he's done. So he's lucky. Like, Conor's lucky that, like you said, he's lucky he didn't take that ground and pound. I think he was lucky that Max didn't chop at that leg even more.
Oh,
and bring even further injury to it. So, kudos to brother Max Holloway. What do you see? We talked about what we think is next. I think he's done altogether. You think he's going to head on over to Most Valuable Promotions? What do we see next? Because this is hard to navigate. He did mention in the post-fight press, or not the post-fight press conference, but his post-fight interview in the cage, he wants to see he wants to see round 3. He wants to see a trilogy. I think he might be the only person that wants that. And I don't think anybody else wants. Not even Dana White wants that right now.
No. He wants that paycheck, and you can't fault him for that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big money fight. I would be saying the same exact thing. Like, hey, let's run it back. I'm sure you don't want to end it like this. Let's go for, the trilogy. Let's go. Nah, nobody wants to see that.
Yeah, and in contrast, it's like, hey, you did prep very hard in your training camp. You did the right things to get up to 170, and then hey, you come out unscathed. You get the biggest paycheck of your career. Come out 100%. Unscathed. Hey, take the wins where you can, Max. You haven't been the most luckiest, brother. Don't try to tempt fate, brother.
Right.
But
I'm right there with you on that one, bro.
what do you think? Barring a trilogy fight with Conor McGregor, what do you think is next? Because he's kind of, I think Max is kind of in limbo himself as far as his career is concerned. We know it's pretty much done at featherweight. Lightweight, you could kind of see a future with him, but especially with him getting dominated by Charles Oliveira, I mean, I think he'll still be one of the top contenders, but I just don't think he'll be a champion anytime soon in the lightweight division, even though he did destroy the now champion.
See, that's
in that division.
That's the thing. I mean, we're gonna talk about the lightweight fight that we saw between Benoit Saint Denis and Paddy Pimblett. So
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know if I want to see I don't know. It would be interesting because we don't even know if Gaethje's going to come back, if he's going to retire or not.
Right?
Does he jump the line and we get that as a rematch, as a make good?
That's what I was just thinking.
I wouldn't mind seeing that, but then you've got again Oliveira who handed it to him. There's so many other things at play. So I mean, I don't know. I'm interested to see which way that the matchmakers at UFC decide to play this and spin this. Hopefully as a make good for Holloway. And does he get an instant title fight? I wouldn't be mad at it. I really wouldn't be mad at it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad at it either. We all know by now, like the UFC rankings don't matter at all. Whether it be the actual rankings by real people or now their meta AI rankings, they don't matter. Like, they go and put in the fights that make the most sense monetarily or financially for them. So I think that does make a lot of sense for them to have Holloway Gaethje 3. You can really sell it off what happened at UFC 300. And I know I hate for years, for decades, we've always been through MMA math. If this guy beat this guy, then this guy got to be this
right.
guy. It's like not Connor, but Max beat Justin, but then Justin beat Ilya, but then Ilya smoked Max. So it's like none of that stuff makes sense, y'all. None of this makes sense. But yeah, I could totally see him getting like jet set up to a title fight. It's just a shame because I don't think his record at lightweight is that good. I think he went up against Dustin Poirier a couple times. Didn't come out all right. I think his only win in the lightweight division is against Gaethje. I think so. I'll have to check out the record, but yeah. And then like he did go up to welterweight, but I think he only went up to welterweight for Conor. I don't think that's definitely not a space he wants to be, especially
I mean, he looked the part. He did look the part. But I don't think that extra weight is going to be beneficial for him because he's more of a speed fighter, and that's going to work against him, especially with his style and technique. So he just needs to go back down to the 155, and I think that's where he should be at. And that there's so much competition, so much. It's a stacked division. That is a stacked division over there. So I don't know. Again, whatever they have next for him, I hope they pay him well. He deserves it.
All right. And I echo those sentiments as well. So big up to you, Max Bless Holloway. Take it easy on DC, will you? Stop. Stop being so mean to DC. All right. We are 50 minutes in the show, and now we're going to go ahead to the rest of the main card. So you did mention the co-main event of the evening with Paddy Pimblett getting a technical submission victory over Benoit Saint Denis with a brutal, not anaconda choke, but Darce choke, sunk in deeply. It was about 2 minutes within the first round. What did you think of this fight? Did you see this coming?
I did not. I honestly thought it was going to go the other way with Pimlet rushing into something from Saint Denis. But when, Denis went for that head kick, Patty blocked it, threw on the Darce, took him to the mat. Denis tried to roll out. That didn't work. Sunk in that Darce even deeper, and then sat cross-legged on the man while choking him out. I was like, no freaking way. And there was a way, because that's how it ended. I mean, he gator roll with him. It allowed Pimlet to, sink it in even tighter. And brilliant. It was a brilliant fight. It was a great bounce back fight for Patty Pimlet. And I mean, the guy has so much energy. He's a fan favorite. He came into the fight with a rave. Did 52 seconds worth of work. They decided to throw the lights back on and almost, run it back, start the rave again. So, it was crazy. I couldn't believe that's exactly how the fight went, and it was a brilliant decision for Pimlet's team to go ahead and do that, because I guess he was talking all week. This is what's going to happen. And sure enough, it went down as he said it was going to happen. So, but wow, I did not think Benoit Saint Denis was going to go out like that, but he did. So, wow, I was in shock. What were your thoughts on there?
I was shocked, but not surprised, if that makes sense. Like, I knew if there was one avenue that Patty was going to win, it was by submission. But I was shocked by the way Benoit Saint Denis just went straight at him. Like he had, and I think Joe Rogan mentioned this over the broadcast as well, or I think it was DC, Daniel Cormier. He mentioned how his striking was working, and it looked like he did have Patty flustered with the striking. But then for some reason, after he throws like a left high kick, he wants to dive in right into a double leg. It's like, what are you doing? Just stick with what brought you to the dance. But man, Patty was waiting. He was lying in wait. I don't even think Patty threw a strike. I think he was on his back foot, and then once he jumped into that double leg. We're taught in jiu-jitsu, like if you have your head up and exposed, guillotine's right there. Patty jumped on the guillotine, like you said. Benoit tried to roll through. He was to a point where he was almost to like all fours on his belly and trying to work his way up. Or he was on his back and he was trying to free himself, but then, like you said, he just transitioned. Patty did from the guillotine to the Darce choke, and it was all she wrote. Choked him unconscious. And there was a moment, and Patty mentioned it in the in cage post-fight interview, that there was a moment he's telling the ref he's out. And the ref checks the arm, and it was like, oh yeah, he's out. So this puts a major halt to the streak of Benoit Saint Denis, who was he won his last four, including a big win over now up and coming contender Mauricio Hufi. So he won his last four. He was on pace to possibly be a number one contender for the lightweight championship, but now Pimlet, who's faced Gaethje before in a fight of the year contender, like we were talking about Max, how you could jettison Max right up there to the number one contender. You could jettison Patty now, even though he did have a loss, it was a loss where he got more fans and he got more adulation for the way that he lost than for any of his wins. So he showed incredible toughness in that particular fight, getting dropped several times and getting back up. And so, and then who knows what's going on with Arman Sarukian. He's somewhere doing RAF, slapping people or whatever he's doing. I don't know what happened to that man. And then Charles Oliveira, he hasn't had a fight since beating Max Holloway. So what do you see? I know we mentioned that we could see Max Holloway jump in the line and getting that title shot, but what do you think is the most realistic thing that's happening between like all the fighters that I mentioned, and also Ilya is still, if he can get his face fixed and he's all put back together. I mean, there could be an argument for an immediate rematch between Gaethje and Ilya. And as you mentioned, we still don't know if Gaethje is going to stick around. So what do you think is the most realistic situation involving the light heavyweight title picture?
I honestly would not mind seeing Pimlet versus Dubronx. I would not mind seeing Oliveira, Pimlet, and the winner of those two catches the winner of, if this were to happen, Gaethje versus Holloway 3. I would not mind seeing that on a card. That would be that. I mean, Oliveira has had a resurgence in his career like we have not seen from many fighters, and Pimlet is, again, had a minor setback, but this is a great story. The fighters are both hot. Let's see exactly which one cancels the other out. And I think it would be an exciting fight because you've got passionate English fans, passionate Brazilian fans. That just smells of money right there. You know what I'm saying? I think that is a box office. It could headline its own, UFC card without a title on the line. I think that would be a massive fight right there. I would love to see that.
Yeah, I would love to see that as well. Dubronx is just terrifying. If your name isn't Ilya Topuria, he's terrifying to everybody else. But man, I just think I don't know what's going on with Topuria. I think we mentioned this last month when right after the UFC Freedom 250 card. We don't know what was going on with him leading up to the fight. Of course, all the stuff happening with his now ex-wife.
Right.
We don't know how much of a part that played and all the drama surrounding that and his children. So, like how that might have played a part in his like mental acuity going into the fight. Also, he was taunting Gaethje a lot, talking to his dad on social media, taunting his dad on social media. So, it's going to be, and we saw kind of him a little bit out of character in their face-off at the press conference where Ilya, again, out of character, just pushed Gaethje after Gaethje did say some crazy stuff about his wife. No, but it did kind of land the wrong way with Topuria, and we saw what happened in their subsequent fight a couple days later. So, I'll go with two different scenarios. If Gaethje returns, then I could see definitely. I could see Gaethje Holloway rematch. I was about to say Gaethje Topuria, but I just think they do want to. I think the UFC probably wants, like we mentioned before, wants to go with the hot hands right now. push that story. You can definitely sell that story between the two. Do Bronx versus Patty.
Because Patty's gonna jump up in the rankings now. He's
Yeah.
gonna jump up. So it would be it would be a more evenly matched, if you were to look at it on the meta UFC rankings paper. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't be so out of pocket. You know what I mean? So not to sway your decision or anything. Proceed.
Well, I'll go with this. While I do think Oliveira is a beast, man, again, another guy who just beat Max and is probably going to be angry that he's not getting pushed up to the top himself. But I just don't know. Don't want to see an Ilya Oliveira rematch. Don't want to see that. I think we want to see some fresh bodies. So if anything, I would love to see Paddy Pimblett, Ilya Topuria, and then Charles Oliveira, Mauricio Hufy. Push Hufy up in that top contendership against a former champion, and then see if he could swim with the Sharks.
I'm not mad at either of those either. I mean, it's a stacked division. That's a couple of fresh fights that you can make, especially with Pimblett now back in play. So yeah, I think those are a couple of great options right there, bro.
Yeah, I think those will work out. Especially you have enough of some guys who you haven't paired before, because it's hard, especially in this lightweight division. You are starting to see some guys kind of filter out because of age, like a Michael Chandler, like a Beneil Dariush. And then you're starting to see some new players creep up, like Hufy and Paddy Pimblett now as well. We'll get to in our opener of the main card, we'll get to one of the old heads versus one of the new school and how that turned out. There was no passing of the torch in that particular one. But I'm just gonna go to the rankings real quick for. I'm going to the media rankings, not the AI. You're not forcing AI on me, Zuckerberg. All right. So, and let me go ahead and pull it up. All right. So, got a champ, Justin Gaethje. We got Ilya Topuria, number 1. Arman Tsarukyan, number 2. Charles Oliveira, number 3. Max Holloway, number 4. Benoit Saint-Denis, number 5. Paddy Pimblett, number 6. And I don't think any changes have yet been made as well. I think the changes are probably going to come, if not tomorrow, then no later than Tuesday. Hufy, number 7. Mateus Gamrot, number 8. Dan Hooker, number 9. And Rafael Fiziev, number 10. Oh, Fiziev and Renato Moicano are tied for number 10. So, okay. But again, those are just my ideas. If Gaethje returns, if he doesn't return, I don't know. It's like I said, if Tsarukyan gets his act together, you could possibly put either Topuria and Tsarukyan for the vacant belt, or Holloway, Tsarukyan for the vacant belt. And like I said, you could still do the other fights that I mentioned with Ilya and Paddy if Ilya doesn't get that shot. Like whoever doesn't get that shot between Ilya and Tsarukyan against whoever doesn't get that shot between Ilya and Max against Tsarukyan for the belt, for the vacant belt, then I could see whoever doesn't get that shot to face Paddy. And then, because I would love to see Max Holloway versus Paddy Pimblett. That would be awesome too. And then you could still have Oliveira versus Hoofy in there as well. But I think, yeah, you could see probably Benoit and Patty swap places in their rankings. Hoofy might go a little bit ahead, but I mean, because Hoofy didn't really face anybody big at the at the UFC 250 card, did he? I think he just beat some Joe Smo. Yeah, I don't think. Let me check out Hoofy. Who did he beat? Oh no, he beat Chandler. Well, now Chandler is just some Joe Schmo now. Sorry, Chandler. But,
no offense. Respectfully.
No offense. Also, all offense. But yeah, even looking after this top 10, like Kellen Sawkills, who's up and comer, Tom Nolan, Benil Dariush, who's like gonna always be like perpetual top 15, and then Manuel Torres. So Michael Chandler not even in the top 15 anymore. So yeah. Yeah, Hoofy, I think, can definitely get pushed in the deep end now. Just like Patty Pimblett was. So
yeah.
We'll see what happens with the ever evolving and ever entertaining UFC lightweight division. So let's move on to our feature bout of the evening, where we had our only fight on the main card to go to the full decision, and that was Mario Bautista getting the unanimous decision victory. All judges scoring 29-28 in favor of Mauricio Bautista against Corey Sandhagen. What did you think of this fight in the UFC bantamweight division?
The fight ended in the first round when Mario Bautista had Corey Sandhagen wrapped up and stretched out, had that leg stretched out. I was like, something, either Corey Sandhagen is much more flexible than I think he is, and he wasn't. I mean, he pulled that man's hamstring, ACL, MCL, PCLs, all the alphabets, right? Calf muscles, everything, because he limped back to his corner. I thought his knee was destroyed, bro. And, second round, Sandhagen was not mobile. He was not, hitting those, those angles with those odd punches while moving at the same time. That definitely, pretty much sealed the deal on, his mobility in terms of what he was able to do against Batista. But on my card, Sandhagen won the second round because I don't think he understood, or Batista understood how injured that Sandhagen really was until the third round. That's when he was able to impose his will with his wrestling against Sandhagen, and Sandhagen was not mobile again. And again, I think Batista showed grit, heart, determination. Same thing with Corey Sandhagen, but I think, like I said, at the end of the first round, when everything got stretched out, man, it was nasty. I had to look away because that kind of thing makes me squeamish. Blood, I can see that all day. Cool. But joint manipulation, I can't bear to watch with that, man. But yeah, I think it was nasty. But at the end of the fight, when they're interviewing Mario Batista, he said he was trying to pull, twist, contort, and yank that man's leg, and he did it. I thought it was a brilliant fight. I think he fought a brilliant fight.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm trying to pull up the stats of that particular fight because I saw exactly what you saw. I saw in that first round, Corey was winning that first round 4 minutes in. Like 4 minutes, 15 seconds in. Like he was winning that first round on the feet. He was very mobile, very agile, moving not only side to side, but also like taking his head off the center line. He was displaying a lot of great movement, switching his stances a lot as well. So he was definitely trying to give Mauricio, or I keep wanting to call him Mauricio, Mario Bautista fits in that aspect until Bautista charged in with the double leg and was able to take him down. And then he was able to take the back. And I'm so glad I've never been hit with this in training with the Suliev stretch.
Oh,
my dog on the leg from behind. Like, I'm so glad I've never been hit with that in training. I would like to catch that on somebody in training, but I ain't gonna risk making somebody look like Conor McGregor and tearing every alphabet in their knee.
right.
But like, even at the end, Corey was able to wiggle out of Mario being on his back, but then Mario just transitioned to the straight up knee bar. If he had like 15 more seconds, I think he would have got the tap. And that round was hard to judge for me, but I think if you take to what the rules say, you got to stick with whatever gets you closer to a fight-ending sequence. Mm-hmm. And those 30 seconds were possibly fight-ending for Mario Bautista. So I definitely agree. He won that first round just alone due to that knee bar / Suliev stretch. But as you mentioned as well, even though the knee was a problem, Corey Sandhagen was still able to land shots at will and just put Mario in bad positions. He kind of caught him with some shots coming in, and like you said, I don't think Mario recognized how hurt Sandhagen was, and he wasn't going for as many takedowns as he should have. And when he was telegraphing him to where even with the bad leg, Corey Sandhagen could still kind of react in time and kind of scout those things out. He could scout those things out and with his sprawls and then work his way back up. So I think that gave Corey some confidence going into the third round. And I think even at the beginning of the third round, you start seeing Corey now he's like, oh, my leg's okay now. And now he's kind of bouncing a little bit more. But like you said, Mario, then that's when Bautista realized, you know what, let me just keep wrestling. Let me just keep going at this, man, because I think there were times that Corey Sandhagen, he was also like getting into body locks against the cage and working double leg takedowns himself. So he was getting a part of the wrestling too, but Mario just took over in that third round. That's why I'm trying to look it up to just see how many takedowns. I counted at least 6 to 7 takedowns. I know. I'm sorry. I'm ashamed of myself.
Buddhist man.
But I think he had about six takedowns in that third round alone. I'm trying to look it up. But even, and I count the ones. Oh man, I put the wrong website in. All right. Even counting the ones where Corey would stand right, like he would get up after 20 seconds, but then Mario will still have the body lock in, and he would just drop down to that double leg again, take his hips up away from the cage, and get him back on his back again. So, I'm still trying to find. Here we go. Past. All right, McGregor Holloway. And even though this fight didn't end in a finish, it was still a great fight, I thought.
I thought it was a very, very entertaining fight for it going to, decision. And again, because after I saw what I saw in the first round, how that sequence ended going to the second round, I thought I could have been stopped either way because, again, Sandhagen's knee was compromised, and I was not sure how he was going to defend himself. But he fought a very intelligent second round. Again, like you were saying, baiting Batista to go for the leg almost and be able to react and respond in kind, So, again, the third round was the telltale round where Batista came through and was just getting takedown after takedown. Sandhagen would get up and Batista would just drag him right back down to the mat. So, yeah, it was a brilliant fight, especially the response from Batista in his corner, just saying, hey, look, this is what you're working with. You might want to start changing up the game plan just a little bit.
Mm-hmm. And so here I have it up. So in the whole fight, Bautista was 8 of 20 on his takedowns. 8 of 20 on his takedowns. Sandhagen was 1 of 4 on his takedowns. In the third round alone, Mario Bautista landed 7 of his 11 takedowns. So when you just see that contrast, like I said, it had to have been at least 6. So it ended up being 7. You see, I gave it time there. I didn't do it back to back.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
No problem. But yeah, 7. Yeah, just being relentless on top and just getting into those positions and just making it a grind for Corey Sandhagen, I think was the best thing that Mario could do at that particular juncture. But yeah, I just felt as though Corey made it 1-1 after that second round. And as we look, let me go ahead and see. So total strikes in that second round. All right, so they were virtually even, identical, as Mike Goldberg would once say. So Corey Sandhagen landed 44 of 82 strikes in the second round. Bautista landed 44 of 84, but it just looked like Sandhagen was more in control with the strikes, and Bautista was 0 of 5 in the takedown category in that second round. So again, Sandhagen, he was able to at least keep enough of the distance, even on that bad leg. And again, reminding me of the Oldberg fight is like, Bautista, don't run into nothing. Don't get caught up in anything, especially if somebody got a bad leg. You just got to watch out for that power. And then significant strikes, again, virtually identical. Sandhagen lands 39 of 77. Bautista landed 39 of 79. And then Bautista had a knockdown. Oh, yeah, I do remember that. He did kind of get him. I think it might have been either a left hook or a right hook that kind of buckled Sandhagen. So yeah, I thought it was a decent fight. I at first I say great fight, but then if we go on to the fight before, I was like, no, that was a great fight.
Yeah.
As we have Brandon Royval getting the submission victory via rear naked choke over Lonnie Kavanaugh in the third round of a back and forth brawl. It's safe to say it was. This Royval looking crisp, trying to keep just seeing the difference in stature between Kavanaugh and Royval. Royval tall and lanky, Kavanaugh short and stocky. Royval was able to use the jab to create some distance, but Kavanaugh would just come in there with some looping hooks. Kavanaugh dropped Royval several times. Royval was able to get takedowns several times. It was close to finishing the fight in the second round, and then ends up getting the job done in the third round. What did you think of Brandon Royval versus Lonnie Kavanaugh.
I mean, you covered it all, man. Royval's executed the jab. He's got the height and reach advantage and used it spectacularly. I thought Kavanaugh showed I don't want to say inexperience. He's younger than Royval, if I'm not mistaken, and he was just not responding well to the separation that was being created by Royval. So you saw a lot of those, the inexperience, at least from my particular, side of things. I thought that Kavanaugh could have, used more kicks just to kind of, counterbalance the jab that was being thrown, because he was eating a lot of jabs. And, come to the end of the fight, the submission, I thought he was going to fight his way out of it, but Royval thought otherwise. And that was a spectacular fight, man. I think this is one of those fights that Kavanaugh's going to definitely regroup, learn from, and then bounce back and, make him a better fight at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think so too. I think this was kind of Kavanaugh's introduction into that top 5 sphere. And it's hard, like we mentioned with lightweight, is like you got some faces are moving out of the division. Lonnie Kavanaugh, he had a great victory over former champion Brandon Moreno in Moreno's home country of Mexico. So he looked tremendous in that particular fight. But like you said, I think Royval, with all of his experience, especially against top tier competition, he faced Van. He took Van to the absolute limit. He faced the champion or former champion in Pantoja before as well. So Royval is very much comfortable in fighting the absolute best within the flyweight division. Like you said, I think Kavanaugh still needs some of that seasoning and some of that experience as well to get more comfortable in being in there against the very, very best in the division. But his time will come. Is just Royval, even with and along with that experience is come when you're in danger, how do you respond? Royval, when he got dropped in that first round, Royval, he was still alert. He was shrimping on his back, trying to create some distance, using up kicks, keeping his feet on Kavanaugh's hip to avoid the big shots. He was weaving as he was shrimping away. So that was just a master class in how you're supposed to react and defend. We talk about defending yourself intelligently. When the referee tells you to defend yourself intelligently, it doesn't mean roll to your back and just get smacked up. although in the fight that we're about to cover after this, I think the winner might he might dispute me in that one, but it doesn't mean just give up your back and get smashed. No, ejectocito cut. It doesn't mean get punched in the face several times. Yeah, he was defending himself intelligently. It's kind of like he trained for something. Like it's like
weird, huh?
It's like, how do you train getting dropped? It is just like Brandon Royval. He knew exactly what to do and then get back up on his feet. And then I think Kavanaugh, that inexperience that you spoke of came in that particular instance where Kavanaugh was just trying to let out all the bullets in the chamber, and Royval was just flowing with it and trying to avoid it. And once Royval got back up to his feet, kept popping that jab. And so I think, again, just shows the differences in experience between those two men. But this definitely isn't the last time we're going to see Kavanaugh in this particular position. I think it was just like his audition, if you will, audition to be in the top 5, and he didn't get the part this time. And that's fine, because you got one of the leading actors in that top 5 who's just so good. Is like, you're gonna be my understudy for right now. You ain't gonna get this part. Maybe next time, maybe the next part you might get, but you got to audition another time, brother. So it just shows the differences in caliber and just the differences in the levels that you have to be at to be a top 10 as opposed to a top 5 fighter. And Kavanaugh learned that, but he shouldn't hang his head down at all. He went out there and he went for it with everything that he had. So, all right. With that, let's go ahead to our opening bout of the evening, where Terrence McKinney snatched defeat out of the jaws of victory. His brother, and King Green mentioned it during the fight week as well. He had a very, very entertaining interview and a very, very entertaining response when he was talking to Mike Bond of MMA Junkie. When Mike Bond asked him, hey, he's going to come out with all he has within that first round. And we know that you, King Green, we know that you love to meet right in the center and face up against somebody who likes to fight as well. So how do you think it's going to play out? And then King Green responded with, oh, he's a minute man. He gets a few pumps in and then he's done. I was like, oh my goodness. And then he proceeded to act it out as well. It was like, oh, I love you, baby. I was like, come on, man. You got to see that. If you haven't seen that interview, go check that interview out on MMA Junkie on YouTube. It's a hilarious interview. But he called it. He knew that Terrence was going to come out guns a-blazing within that first round, and he wanted to take Terrence into deep waters. Who knew deep waters was the last minute of the first round? But Terrence McKinney again came out guns a-blazing, was able to cut up King Green above his eye. Right. We don't know if that was from a punch or with a clash of heads. I think they were both. I think at the start of the round they were both trying to dart inside. And I think there was a quick clash of heads, which resulted to the cut over the eye of King Green. And then I think he had Green hurt in some spots and then was able to get a double leg takedown on Green. He was able to get in mount on Green, land some big elbows. Green rolled to his back. McKinney looked for a rear naked choke. Green was defending it, but as he was defending it, he was getting punched upside the head. All while this is happening, Brother Jay, King Green is still talking trash, even as he's getting punched in the face from behind. He's still talking trash to T-Rex, and he's able to slide out with 20 seconds remaining in the round. He's able to slide out, wriggle out, scramble up, get back to his feet. Both men are up to their feet. And now King Green starts asserting control with 20 seconds left in the fight, Jay. He throws a teep kick to the body, and then he lands a left body shot to McKinney. McKinney goes down. King Green is raining punches on him. 5 seconds remaining. King Green is landing punches. And at the horn, the referee gets in between, says this fight is over. King Green wins with, perceivably, in my opinion, the comeback fight of the year. What did you make of this fight?
Oh, man. First of all, shout out to King Green, man, representing the West Coast, man. He had the Paisley bandana type, trunks on. When I saw that, I was like, okay, this man, he different. Anybody that can do whatever you do to your beard, man, shout out to you on that, bro. That's you. You do you. But yeah, I was interested in seeing this fight because, again, you described, Terrence McKinney, young up and comer, and then come to find out during the fight, Green did not want to fight McKinney, and I guess they had an agreement that they were not going to. But when the fight was offered to McKinney, he said, "Yeah, I'll take the fight." So now he got a fight on principle. So he's upset and angry during the whole lead up to the fight, and then having that backstory that made it much more entertaining to see the outcome of this fight. And this is a message to anybody that's going through any hard times in their life. It might look like it's over. Don't give up. King Green did not give up. He came in there, got out, like you said, 20 seconds left. Body shot, drops him, starts raining down punches. And I was like, okay, he might be survived. Nope, he stopped the fight. They stopped the fight. The fight's over. I was shocked. I was happy for Green. I thought that was, like, again, comeback of the century. I mean, that's a great – he can go on and be a motivational speaker now and just show that highlight and go on tour to the end of his life, because that right there is hands down talking about determination, never giving up, never quitting, betting on yourself, all that good stuff, all that good motivational stuff. So shout out to him. And he just, again, Green talked leading up to the fight, like you were saying, that McKinney is not built for the long haul. He went out there and proved everything that he said was accurate. Flawless. That's the difference between a veteran and somebody who's wanting to go into this the fight game and they think they got it figured out. There's these vets out here, they got tricks that we don't even know about. So I was thoroughly entertained by it, man. Shout out to King Green, man.
Shout out. And I loved his post fight. Sometimes it's a mixed bag when it comes to the post fight the post-fight interview with King Green, but I loved when he was talking about how he wants to make, and I think it kind of alludes to maybe the situation that you were describing before the fight, like him wanting to have like a bond between black fighters, and that's why we have this program, ladies and gentlemen. I know, don't make it about race. Listen to King Green. There's a reason why it's a brotherhood, especially with black fighters in this particular sport and with black fight fans within this particular sport. So that's why we bring Styles Break fights to you to get those different perspectives that you're not used to seeing on other kinds of MMA media. So, but yeah, he just pretty much encapsulated that. And I loved what this brother is doing. And I think I think if King Green hangs it up, I think he should be one of Terrence McKinney's coaches, because I think like he can really get him into that mindset and be like, hey, it's not, because he talked about this in his in that pre-fight interview that I was mentioning with MMA Junkie, that he was having a discussion with McKinney, and he was saying how McKinney was so focused on like the followers that he had and focused on what people was going to think like online. And King Green is like, man, that boy thinking about clout. I'm thinking about trying to win. So I think just having that mindset in McKinney's corner would do him a whole lot of justice. So I could definitely, I'm glad that I did hear that from King Green, just as far as him wanting to work with other black fighters and kind of get that perspective too. Because we do know, if you haven't been tuned into King Green's story, like just all the, and you talking about this fight being like proof of him coming back and not knowing that it's not over and that you could come back from anything. Like this brother's whole life has been like that. Even like he lost in Devastate. We talk about Paddy Pimblett choking Benoit Saint Denis to sleep. Like King Green got choked to sleep by Paddy Pimblett, but then he went on a 3-fight win streak, and even prior to that, like this man's whole career has been nothing more than him just persevering over tragedy, and then just having triumph and tragedy, just the quintessential 2 steps forward, 1 step backward with this brother. But he continues to put one foot in front of the other. And this man, had his 55th professional fight. And
Crazy.
he was going to end it. Like he talks about being adopted by a white family. He talks about losing his brother to gang violence. So this brother is a true inspiration, and I definitely want to see him. Even if he chooses not to fight anymore, I would definitely love to see him in a coaching role, and I could definitely see him getting together with McKinney and getting in his corner. So I would love to see that.
If they ever decide to make a movie, a biopic about this man, the title has to be The Struggle is Real.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because everything, knowing his backstory, that's the perfect title for it. The Struggle is Real.
Yeah.
The Life and Times of King Bobby Green.
Right? and that's like, I've been following this man since there was
before it was King.
I've been following this man. I've been following this man. There was a little known show on MTV, Brother Jay. I'm pretty sure you might be familiar with it. It was called Bully Beatdown.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we got quite a few notable fighters. Jason Mayhem Miller, who's a former UFC fighter. He was the host on the show. Daniel Cormier was a part of the show as fighting one of the bullies, and one Bobby King Green was also another competitor who faced off against some of the bullies. So just that brother, because I think the TV show was kind of getting involved with the local promotion in California, which was King of the Cage.
Okay.
And so I think King Green was a part of that promotion at the time, as well as Daniel Cormier before he got into Strike Force. So
did not know that. Yeah. I remember the show. Yeah.
Yeah. Like you said, just the struggle is real. I can definitely see that title to his biopic. So, all right, and with that, an hour 37 minutes. That's the end of the main card, folks. But myself and Jay did want to get into some of the notable prelim fights that were on the card. Let's go ahead and start with the debut of NCAA champion and Olympic gold medalist Gable Stevenson getting a TKO victory over Elisha Ellison in the very first round. What did you make of Gable's debut?
I thought he looked pretty good. I thought he looked as advertised. Usually when you have someone with a amateur wrestling background and they're as athletic as, like he is, going to the octagon or into the cage. I've seen some of his other, previous professional fights, and I was like, okay, I'm curious to see how he would match up against someone as a UFC caliber type of fighter. And he did exactly what I thought he would do. Put paws on him. He threw some kicks. I was shocked to see some of the oblique kicks that he was utilizing.
Yes.
Which I thought was very smart, especially since I heard he was doing some work with John Jones, and John Jones is saying that he's going to be a problem. So if you got somebody with the athletic skill set of a John Jones saying that you're going to be a problem and you're working and training with this guy in his camp, that's somebody to definitely look out for. So I was excited to see him do as well as he did. The Phantom cup kick, if you want to call it that, that apparently Stevenson hit on Ellison. In real time, it looked bad. The replay, not so much, so I think that was Ellison's demise because you gave Stevenson some time to recoup and recover, especially when you didn't even have to recover from anything because it was a legal kick. So I think all that did was piss Gable off, and we saw the end result where, knees and punches were thrown, and that was the end of that.
Indeed. I actually thought Ellison looked good because I think he looked good in that first minute because I think when you got these guys that face up against highly touted recruits who just entered the UFC, I'm thinking about maybe I think it was one fighter who fought against Bo Nickel, and it's like these folks, they're like totally consumed with the aura around and the hype around the fighter that they don't feel as though they're fighting an actual person. They feel like they're fighting the hype as opposed to fighting the actual fighter. And I think Ellison came out with no fear. He came out, you talk about wanting to put paws on somebody. Ellison was putting some paws on Gable. So I think, and it was good to see how Gable would react in those situations, because I was thinking, all right, if there's any way, and for a brief second, I did think about going on that poly market and being like, you know what? Because that he was a minus, bro. Gable Stevenson was a minus 2,800 favorite. I was like,
my gosh,
I gotta put down at least like $20. I could win like $400 if Ellison pull off this miracle. But then I on second thought, I was like, you know what? Let me just leave it alone, and I'm glad I did, because Ellison did come out there with no fear, and he went out and took it to Stevenson, but Stevenson reacted well. I thought that was the only way that he would lose, is if he would get himself into a firefight and not know how to handle himself, and then not have the technique to get out of it and to incorporate his wrestling seamlessly with it. But like you said, he was able to mix up his range of strikes. He really didn't even look like he wanted to wrestle. And then I think after the fight, he went up to DC and he was like, I didn't even wrestle. Watch how I do when I wrestle. And so, like you said, the variation of kicks, from the oblique kicks to the calf kicks to the kicks to the body, very reminiscent of his trainer, John Jones. And he also was able to get into the tie clinch and throw some knees to the body and towards the head as well, and just show so many variations of his strikes. He landed some elbows in there as well, and it was able to get the finish and the stoppage. So kudos to him. Again, he's got some questionable history as well when we talked about Conor and some of the issues that he's had. Gable Stevenson is a little bit more of a question because charges were not pressed. But within his college days, him and a teammate were arrested on a particular assault charge, but the charges were dropped. That doesn't excuse anybody of innocence. That's all, or excuse anybody of guilt. That's also not a declaration of innocence. We just know that the prosecutor at the time felt that they didn't have enough evidence to go forth with a charge and with a conviction, or to prove a conviction. So, but nevertheless, from what we know, he hasn't been in any trouble since. And again, you talk about strange bedfellows when we talked about the connection between Conor McGregor and Trump and Vince McMahon. You got Gable Stevenson with John Jones, who's had done some questionable things in his particular career as well, including possible domestic violence. But again, that charge was dismissed. So I don't know. I just hope he has a better head on his shoulders than John Jones does. But I don't know if having John Jones in your corner would be the best thing, especially once he starts getting into that upper tier. But we'll see what happens with Gable Stevenson. Great performance against Elijah Ellison. but we'll see how far it takes. Well, I'll ask you, how quick do you think it is going to take for him to kind of scale up the rankings in heavyweight?
He's going to need some more finishes, in my opinion. I think that he's got at least, if he gets more, like 3 more spectacular finishes, I think they're going to start putting him in the conversation of, being a heavyweight contender. I think that he's got the tools, he's got the talent. I just want to see. I'm very curious to see how they're going to handle a potential breakout star, especially in the heavyweight division, because there's not very many stars, point blank. So I don't think he's going to get a big caliber name at this point. But they're going to. I think he's got another 3, possibly 4 more fights before they start putting him in like top 10 contention.
I don't know, dog. Like you said, heavyweight is kind of floundering. I don't know, dog. That might be 2, my boy. He might have a 2-great performance and then shoot that man straight up to the moon.
Like, what? On second thought.
Right. Especially with everything being thrown in doubt with Tom Aspinall at the top, and then you got Gone up there.
Yeah.
And I look at Connor. I look at Gable Stevenson, and I look at Josh Hokett, and I'm like, I think of the old joke from Cat Williams. Like, when you got a Chrysler 300, everybody think it looks like a Phantom, like a Maybach Phantom, until a Maybach Phantom pull up. That's Josh Hokett. Right. He think he'd a Maybach. And if he face up against Gable, that's the Maybach. You just a 300 player.
I wouldn't mind seeing that in due time, because I think Hokett's got a little bit more, like we talked about earlier. He's got a little more seasoning to him. So, and I mean fight seasoning, not any kind of other seasoning, because that dude is bland as mayonnaise. But yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing that, just because. What was that?
The old raisins in the potato salad. That's what he shoot out to me. Have his girl putting raisins in the potato salad.
No.
No current.
Ain't no sir. But you know what? I wouldn't mind seeing them go up the rankings, But again, you want to, if you're the promoter, if you're Dana White, you want to make sure that you have treat Stevenson as a star. You know, you don't want to coddle him, but at the same time, you don't want to prolong his ability to shine the competition. You don't want to feed him too much too fast, So I think save the Hokett fight for later, maybe later on in 2027, maybe around the time next year. I wouldn't be upset at that, So I just don't. I think 3 top, maybe 4 tops, 4 more fights before you get to like maybe a top 10, top 8 heavyweight fighter against Stevenson.
Yeah,
because again, he's only 4-0. He's only 4-0.
That's true. It's just, again, heavyweight is so thin right now. Like,
true.
I mean, I'm thinking. Matter of fact, let's go to the rankings now. Let me see who's up top 5. All right, let's go over here. That's light heavyweight. All right, here we go. So let me pull this up, share the tab. All right, so let's go ahead. As a matter of fact, let me see if I can put the divisions in ISO so we can kind of. Here we go. All right. There we go. So, Tom Aspinall's the champ. He said he's willing to fight Gane in Paris later on in the summer. So, we had Cyril Gane, interim champion. Mm-hmm. Alexander Volkov, number 2. Sergey Pavlovich. I haven't seen him in a while. Number 3, Josh Hokett. Number 4, Valdo Cortez Acosta. Number 5, Sergey Spivak. Number 6, Curtis Blades. Number 7,
Just Blades.
Rizvan Kuniev. Number 8, Tyrell Fortune. Number 9, Ante Delija. Number 10, Derek Lewis. Number 11, Marcin Tybura. Number 12, Brando Perisic. Number 13, Walter Walker. Number 14, and Mick Parkin. Number 15. About 5 of those names I don't even know, and 2 of those names I'm like, they still in the league? Like, I don't even know what's going on with the heavyweight division, brother Jay. But
yeah, I was shocked to see Marcin Tybura still up there. You know,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
He
that
was
one shocking.
He was one of the shockers. I'm like, wait a minute, he's still in there. and I know Volkov had a big victory over Valdo Acosta Cortez recently.
Yeah.
But then he also had like a stinker against, I want to say, what's my man's name? Not Oliveira. Jalton Almeida.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he had a bit of a stinker against him. Now, as a matter of fact, I don't see Almeida up here. I wonder what happened.
No, he's not even listed on the meta rankings either. So,
oh, you using that AI? How dare you, brother?
I switched it over. I saw like, okay, media ranking. Let's go to meta rankings and see what they got. But yeah, outside of that, I mean, I don't know who I would put in this. This is above my pay grade. Who I would have Stevenson fight next, you know, because it wouldn't be a top 15 fighter. Because looking at the media rankings, you don't even have a Ryan Spann on the. At least I don't see a Ryan Spann on the media rankings yet. So I wouldn't even put him against Ryan Spann because that's a dangerous fight.
Oh yeah.
That would be a dangerous fight. I wouldn't put him up against that because again, experience. He just doesn't have that experience yet. So just lead up to a few of these other people that they may be having their eye on for the UFC heavyweight division. That's outside of the top 15. That's who I would have him go up against and cut his teeth against. So before feeding him the Derek Lewis's or the Sergey Spivaks of the UFC heavyweight, so that's what I would do.
Gotcha. All right, so I'm checking out. So Jaitin, he has 2 back-to-back losses now. So he lost to Volkov in a split decision, and then he lost a unanimous decision against Rizvan Kuniev, and that's one of the names that I'm like, who?
Respectfully.
Exactly, respectfully. The Kuniev he lost to in February of this year, so he hasn't fought since then. So that's probably what shot Almeida down. Now let me go ahead and check out Ryan Spann because Spann has converted from light heavyweight to heavyweight recently. Is this Spann? Is it? Let me see. Spann might be with 2 N's. There we go. I thought it was Ryan with 2 N's, which nobody does. All right. So Ryan Spann. All right. So. All right. Oh yeah, he did. Okay. So he has. Let's see. All right. So. I think he went up. Yeah, so he's won his last 3 out of his last 4, only losing to aforementioned Valdo Cortez Acosta by KO. But since then, he beat Lucas Brzezinski, and Buchecha, Marcus Almeida, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu great. So he's on a 2-fight win streak.
Okay.
So yeah, maybe put but like you said, that might be a little bit too dangerous.
That water might be a little deep for him, so
maybe this brother Lucas Brzezinski. Let's see if he's still. He's 9-7. Let's see. So he lost to Ryan Spann a few months ago. Lost to Kennedy Nchekwu or Zechukwu. There we go. Zechukwu. Well, I'll go there. Kennedy Zechukwu. And then Mick Parkin. Okay. Oh, yeah. He lost 4 of his last 5. He might be out the dough. And he lost 3 straight. So, yeah, he might be out the dough. But, Kennedy Zechukwu. I haven't seen him in a while. Is he still on? Well, let's see what. We're just farming for
this is cage theory.
Sheep to the slaughter of Galen Stevenson. All right. So, okay. So, he's got a fight coming up. Okay. So, he's got an upcoming fight against Shamil Gaziev for a UFC Fight Night on August 22nd. But his last 3 fights, he has 1 win, 1 loss, and 1 draw. So he's straight across the board. His last fight being a draw to Buchecha. And then the fight before that, he lost to Walter Walker. And then a fight before that, he beat the aforementioned very, very, very famous Lukas Brzezinski. So, yeah, he's been all over the place. And before that, he won against Chris Barnett at UFC 308. But then he had 2 straight losses. Vince St. Preux, is he still in the game?
Is he still employed by UFC?
That's what I'm trying to see. He should be one of those that has like a forever job, but we all know KO, that's not happening with TKO.
No.
You got to earn these paychecks no matter how long you've been with the company. Seamus. So it looks like he's been kind of spotty. So he's matter of fact, he hasn't fought since Ryan Spann, and that was in 2024, October of 2024. And then before that, he fought Zechukwu in March of 2024. And then before that, he fought Felipe Lins in February of 2023. Felipe Lins, famous for getting knocked out by by a guy, the Predator, in that Netflix card with
Ngannou?
Yeah, Francis Ngannou got knocked out by Ngannou on the Ronda Rousey card.
Got you. Okay.
So maybe he bring in Felipe Lins just to get knocked out by Gable Stevenson, man. Maybe
you know what? 100K ain't that bad. We're not gonna pay you $1 million, but we'll give you a fraction. You know, you only gotta show up for 2-3 minutes worth of work.
Mm-hmm. Maybe we can do that. Who knows? But enough about speculating who Gable Stevenson's next opponent is going to be. We could go into speculating who's going to be the next opponent for newly minted light heavyweight. Our guy Bobby Knuckles, and he stayed true to his name, Robert Whitaker. with a third round TKO.
Yeah.
Over Nikita Krylov. It was back and forth in the first round, but then second round, Whitaker started to take over with the striking and just the quickness. And I think a lot of people were trying to see how the extra 20 pounds plus would look on Whitaker and if he could be just as powerful as he was during his heyday in middleweight.
Mm-hmm.
He proved it, man. I think if they were at middleweight, I think he would have got Krylov out of there a lot sooner than the third round. But then it was one fateful right hand to the jaw of Krylov, which had him opening his mouth up and down, ejectocito cuss, and he was just done. He had a verbal / nonverbal submission. And Robert Whitaker went on to win his debut in the light heavyweight division. What did you think of Robert Whitaker's debut in the light heavyweight rankings?
I was happy to see him get the finish, man. I like Robert Whitaker as a fighter. Again, one of those other personalities that were highly respected. I want to see him succeed, and I'm glad he did. Do I want to see him at the light heavyweight again? No, I do not. I would rather see him. I'd rather see, honestly, he didn't wear it well. And I'm not a body person or anything like that. I'm not a body guy. I'm not objectifying this guy as a fighter. But he didn't look like the Bobby Whitaker that I'm used to seeing. You know what I'm saying? And the power was there, but it didn't. If that's what he wants to do, go ahead and live your life, bro. You do you. You know, but me personally, I would not want to see him go up against somebody like a Khalil Roundtree who's in that same division. I don't want to see him go up against a Jamal Hill who's in that division. I don't want to see him against a Yuri Prochazka who's in that division because I know exactly what's going to happen.
I don't know about that.
Yuri, I think Yuri could catch him. I don't want to see it. I don't even want to know. I don't want to theorize on that. You know,
but then again, Yuri could get caught though. We all saw that.
Yes,
like, Yuri is 50-50. Everybody else, I was with you.
Okay,
Yuri, I was like, I don't know about that one though.
Record scratch. But I like, you know, I like Bobby Whitaker so much. I don't even want to even have that kind of cage theory, you know, formulating those kind of, you know, matches that could happen. I'd rather not see that. But I mean, if it does, if that's what he wants to do, cool. But yeah, I don't know. It's almost like I'd rather see him go back and reclaim his middleweight title, or at least get back into that the contention for it again. I think it's a more of a natural fit for him because, you know, I'm not thinking about so much the weight. It's the height advantage as well too that you're looking at.
Yes.
Because that's where he's going to find the most difficult, the most challenging aspect of the fight. His hands is going to be with him. That's fine. You know, the athleticism, the groundwork, the wrestling, that's going to be there. But how do you work, you know, to get inside of somebody who's going to be like 6'2", 6'4", in some cases 6'6", if you're looking at somebody like a Alex Pereira, you know? So how does that work? I don't think that, you know, that's not going to work to his advantage on that side of the weight class.
I don't know, man. The thing is, like, what more is there to do at middleweight, though? It's like
Sean Strickland's there. Sean Strickland is there. I would love for him to mop Sean Strickland personally. This is just me. I have a personal vendetta against him. So
exactly.
Yeah, I would love to see that.
that was literally what I was about to say. You're just saying that because of your vendetta against Sean Strickland.
Oh yeah, I'm petty. Yeah, make that match.
Eddie Crocker. But yeah, I just don't see what is left for him to do at 185 when I'm looking at these rankings, and I'll go ahead and pull them up. I just don't see, like, against all the top tier guys, he hasn't looked and again, he's part of that when we talked about the aging out of certain talent at a particular division. We talked about it at light heavyweight or lightweight, I should say, and we talked about it at middleweight as well. I think he's up there in those guys where I think he's past, especially alongside Israel Adesanya, where it's just like those guys' time has come and gone, I believe. So, like you said, we got our champion, our very well-respected, well-renowned champion in middleweight, Sean Strickland. We got Hamzat, which Bobby has lost against. We got Dricus du Plessis, who Bobby has lost against. Nazardine Imavov, who Dana was very, very coy in stating whether or when Imavov would get a particular title shot. Then we got Brendan Allen, number 4. Caio Baralho, number 5. Those are some killers. Fluffy Hernandez, number 6. He's coming up with a fight soon. I think it's a fight night he has coming up soon. Joe Pyfer, who picked up a big victory over Israel Gutierrez, but I found out is possibly a white supremacist, so I don't know about that, brother. Renier de Ritter is number 8. Izzy is number 9. Robert, he's still somehow ranked number 10 at welterweight. Then we got Jared Cannonier, Gregory Rodriguez, number 12. Christian Leroy Duncan, number 13. Roman Dolidze, number 14. And then Ikram Aliskerov, number 15. Okay. So then we look at light heavyweight. Alonzo Menefield, 15. Alexander Rakic, 14. Johnny Walker, 13. Nikita Krylov was 12. Bobby beat him. Dominic Reyes, 11. Now, guys like Dominic Reyes, like you said, I think the height and the reach is going to be an issue, but I think you can avoid that with those guys. Bogdan Guskov, number 10. Volkan Ozdemir, I think would be a good matchup for.
That would be a good matchup. I wouldn't mind seeing that. I wouldn't also mind seeing the name above him as well too.
Oh yeah, Paulo Costa, who's also a middleweight, who came on over. Azamat Mirzakhanov, number 7. So him and Costa are tied at 7. We mentioned Jamal Hill, 6. Khalil Roundtree Jr.'s 5th. Jan Blachowicz, still in the league, number 4, even though he hasn't fought in like a last year and a half. Then we got Poatan, number 3. Yuri, number 2. Magomed Ankalaev, number 1. And then we got our champion, who it remains to be seen when he's going to be returning from his injury sustained in his title-winning effort. So, I don't know. I think with that, again, and we talked about this, the light heavyweight division, the top of the light heavyweight division is cursed right now. So I think if there was ever a moment that Bobby Knuckles can make a difference, it would be right now. I think if things shake out, like somebody like whoever becomes champion, and I don't wish this on anybody, but who knows what happens in the next championship bout? Somebody might sprain a toe or get their eye jabbed out or something like that. Something might happen to where he works into that top 10 somehow, and then he ends up within a few fights taking on like a champion or a championship caliber fighter. So like you said, I think his biggest struggle is going to be facing guys who are going to pepper that jab, have the reach advantage to pepper those jab and those leg kicks to render him kind of null and void as far as him getting inside and using that power. But I like it, man. You body shame it, but I like it.
I didn't body shame. I just said it wasn't
good at that frame. I think for him, for his size, for his stature, I think he is a bit stocky with that extra, with that with that extra weight on. But I don't think he looks bad with it on.
No, it wasn't bad, but I'm just not used to
He
seeing,
ain't out here like DC in these streets. No offense to DC.
I wasn't used to, just seeing him that, heavy. That's all.
Gotcha.
That's all.
Body shame. Okay, I got the Robert Whittaker going to sing that song. It's like, you trying to make me lose weight again? I'm going to be like DC. I'm all about the cakes. All about the cakes.
Man.
We'll see what happens with Bobby Whittaker. Whether he goes back down. Yeah, I just think once people decide to go up in weight, I just think like their mind is made up. In my opinion, with the exception of a Max Holloway, like again, I think he just did that for the bag.
he got his bag though. He got his bag.
Exactly.
So
he got the bag, and now I think he's gonna head back down the lightweight. But everybody else, I think once they go up, and I mean possibly Poitin.
Yeah, that's the other one too. Yeah, I don't think he was meant for the heavyweight division. I mean, it would have been a great story being a 3-division champ with him, but I think he learned there's a big difference between heavyweight and light heavyweight, and his chin told him, there's a difference.
I don't know, man. The way he's been going around on these interviews, he's swearing that the shots at the back of the head was the thing that won the fight. Where it's like we didn't. Like you don't think we saw the last 20 seconds, my boy, when you were up on your feet and you just got jabbed up and you got rocked. It wasn't even shots to the head when you were up on your feet. It was only when you had got dropped the first time that it was shots to the head. But who knows? I shouldn't talk because I know a lot of people are like, well, did you ever get in the cage? How you know? I'm just saying. So maybe those shots in the back of the head may have affected the equilibrium to where it threw Poitin off, and then he ended up getting finished later on in the round. So who knows?
Maybe.
All right. Well, I'll just run through the rest of the card. Run through the rest of the prelims. And then we can go ahead and wrap this puppy up. I did catch a few of the other fights on the prelims as well. So let me go ahead, switch the tab. All right. So Bobby Whittaker was our feature bout on the prelims. And then right before him was Gable Stevenson earning his victory. But then before that, we got Adrian Yanez with a big knockout victory over former bantamweight champion Cody Garbrandt. Yanez, the first 10, 15 seconds, these guys were going toe to toe. Garbrandt was not backing down an inch, but then I think about a minute and a half into the fight, Garbrandt got caught with a flush right hand. He didn't get dropped, but DC said it on the broadcast. He can't take much more of those. And indeed, he took about 2 more and he got dropped and finished. Adrian Yanez looking good. I think he's got a good winning streak going on. And it's a big win, the biggest victory of his career thus far. So I think good things are coming in the way of Adrian Yanez's career thus far. Then we had a controversial referee stoppage. Luke Riley getting a finish over Kai Kamaka, the third Kamaka being amongst the Hawaiian contingent alongside Max Holloway. But Luke Riley, who's a fellow Scouser and a teammate of Paddy Pimblett, and making his first fight inside the United States, let alone at the UFC. Luke Riley had some great stand up. He was able to charge right at Kamaka. Kamaka was meeting him in the center of the octagon, but then he kept getting backed up towards the cage, and Luke Riley was just unloading on him with boxing strikes. Now, Kamaka, he was. I thought that he was getting caught and he wasn't really returning shots back. And then the referee stepped in and called the fight as a TKO. Kamaka disputed the fight on the broadcast. Joe Rogan disputed the decision. I thought the referee did his job. Joe Rogan thought that Kamaka wasn't having shots landed directly on him and that he was kind of rolling with the strikes. But if you're not intelligently defending yourself or at least firing shots back, I think Riley landed at least 7 straight shots on him to close out the sequence of the fight before the referee stepped in. So I thought it was a good stoppage, but a few people disagree. So we'll see what happens with that. Then we had Tracy Cortez in a valiant effort and tough, courageous effort. Her lead leg was getting chewed up by Wong Tong with not oblique kicks, but with calf kicks. And Tong Wong was also just very like pinpoint accuracy with her punches as well. I think the only thing with the performance of Tong Wong was not recognizing when to turn up the pace and to really put it to Cortez and close her out. I think Cortez had some glimpses. She landed some shots in between as well. But I think Wong could have definitely pressed the pace to get the finish, but she ended up getting the unanimous decision victory. Then we got Damian Pinas with the knockout with a straight right to defeat Cesar Almeida in the middleweight division. We got Farid Basharat getting unanimous decision victory over John Garza. We got Ryan Gondra getting the left hook TKO finish over Zach Reese. And then to open up the card, we got Alessandro Costa getting the rear naked choke submission victory over Cody Durden. So what are kind of your lasting images of this particular card? I know it's kind of obvious, but what are some of the lasting things that are standing out in your mind as we close our coverage or our review of UFC 329?
The main thing was Patty Pimlet in the Darth choke, because that was just brilliantly applied, and yeah, that was so unexpected. I think that was one of the images I'm going to remember about this whole card. The other thing was, like you mentioned it before, Damian Pinas with that right hand. Oh my god, sent Almeida to the shadow realm, man. So that was crazy. I thought that would have been knockout of the night. If it made knockout of the night, cool. I mean, it well deserved. Also the whole what's his name? Corey Sandhagen fight against Mario Batista. The image of the first round ending with the knee bar. Again, joint manipulation is just not one of my favorite things to watch, but I still watch it just like a car crash because everyone does. It still makes me squeamish. I'm man enough to admit that. But the other thing too, the whole Conor McGregor, Max Holloway lead up. I'm not like you, Ray. I really thought that, hey, we gonna get a fight. I should have listened to you. So for that, tip my cap to you. My bad. Yeah, I was, pretty much just like every other fight fan, just let down. Like, dang, man, don't tell me how this ends. It doesn't end like this, does it? And sure enough, it did. And all in all, up until the last fight, I think that it was a good card. I mean, I've seen most of the fights. I'll watch, the remaining preliminary fights later. But again, all in all, I think it was a very entertaining card, and yeah, I can't be mad at it. Outside of the Holloway, McGregor, if you want to call it a fight.
Yeah, and I think to borrow a line from Tommy Toho from MMA On Point, the YouTube channel, this was shaped up to be the greatest. It is kind of crazy when you think of it. Like in this year, we've had some tremendous fight cards when it comes to like the premium live events, premium numbered events, if you will.
Right.
In the UFC, we had like some tremendous cards, including UFC Freedom 250. This was looking to be up there with some of the greatest cards of this year, with all the performances, until we get to the main event. So I think my lasting impressions. Thank you for everything you've done in the cage, Conor. No, thank you to all the stuff you've done outside of the cage. I think similar to how we talked about it on the parlay with with Hulk Hogan and with some other folks, Vince McMahon. I'm not going to go out here and start chanting "Thank you, Conor," but I am going to say appreciate you, dog. Head nod up. But I think your career is done. So yeah, I think Conor's career is over. That's one takeaway. I think Paddy Pimblett is a star in the making. It was funny. They had Paddy Pimblett's reaction on like ESPN MMA when he was in the back giving like some media scrum, and they were it was like, oh, what happened? And they were telling him how McGregor his leg was gone, and he was like, oh, well, out with the old, I'm the man now. Like, wow.
The body ain't even cold.
That is cold. That's how you gotta be. And now there's an opening to be a face of the promotion, a face of the sport. So who knows with Paddy? Who knows if everything continues to go his way? So I can definitely see it. But yeah, definitely, like you said, Pimblett and his submission was just brutal. So
yeah.
But it was brutal. Like jiu-jitsu is always there's a beauty to the brutality of it sometimes with like chokes and like you said, joint locks and joint manipulation and things like that. So it's a beauty to it, but there's also like a barbarism to it, because it was like you said with the Corey Sandhagen thing. It was like, oh, I don't want to say, I don't want to see it, but I do want to see it. But,
right.
But yeah, it's just I could see big things for Paddy. Just Paddy don't get caught up, and I think you mentioned it as well when you were kind of talking about your breakdown of the fight. Just everybody going crazy when Paddy go out and just like let's go. Just again another more evidence that white people can't dance, but they just go along with it. They just go along. But then he gets to finish, and like you said, they even dancing afterwards to Oasis's Wonderwall. That ain't even a happy song, but people are like, oh, like how y'all jamming to this? But that's just the power of Paddy. The power of Paddy. So yeah, the Conor's gone, the power of Paddy, and then what's another takeaway? I think doesn't matter what your history is. If you're a great fighter, you're going to get an opportunity, and I think that goes a long way, especially within sports. Like ESPN and NBC sports personality Michael Smith once said this is like exceptions are for exceptional people. So
very true.
Yeah. If you can, if your talent can outweigh your attitude and it can outweigh your behavior outside of the field and outside of the court and outside of the octagon / cage, you're going to continue to get chances. And I think we're seeing the end of the road on those chances for Conor McGregor, but we're kind of seeing the beginning of the road for those chances for one Gable Stevenson. So hopefully he stays out of trouble despite who he has around him. He keeps himself out of trouble. He doesn't get himself caught up with some of the stuff that he was alleged to do before. He stays on the straight and narrow and also continues to improve as a fighter. And who knows what the limit is for that, brother. So I think,
in other words, keeps his nose clean.
Exactly. In more ways than one.
If you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying.
Indeed. So yeah, those are pretty much my big 3 takeaways from this fight. So, all right. Well, with that, we're gonna go ahead and close this out, brother. I thought there was just a slight chance for a tight 120, but that was not to be today. But it's all good. We thank everybody for listening to us. Whenever you are listening to this podcast, we appreciate your support. Brother Jay, if you want to go ahead and let the people know where they could find you.
Yeah, thanks, Ray. You can catch me on all Nefarious platforms. On Instagram is at Jerek_wins. There's JEREK, all caps _wins. Same handle can be found for me on Blue Sky as well, too. You can catch me, Ray, and Downtown Gerard Brown on our podcast that we have is Ring Theory. So if you're interested in professional wrestling, whether it's WWE, AEW, New Japan, anything related to professional wrestling, combat sports, something like that, you'll enjoy our show where we also go around the world of professional wrestling, talking about theories, the athletes involved as well, too. So you can catch us on there. Also the NWA podcast, which is also on Post Wrestling. You can catch the latest episode that we did a couple weeks ago. If you haven't checked us out there, you'll love it. You absolutely will. We had a blast recording it. Also you can catch me, also speaking of the Post Wrestling, in a couple of weeks, I will be back on collision course with our friend of the program, Kate from Montreal. So Ray's done a couple stints over there. I've done a couple stints as well, too. So she's a good friend of the program. And if you haven't seen us or heard any of our work on those platforms, check us out there. And that's all I got.
Well, I appreciate you for joining me once more, Brother Jay. To piggyback off you, brother, with my shilling, with my with where you can find me. It's funny you mentioned Collision Course, my brother, because I will be on once again right before you. We all know that you got your go home spot locked up already, but
I'm trying to get some t-shirts made, bro. Go home Jay t-shirts coming soon.
Indeed. Put it on a t-shirt, Dickie Berg, RIP to top tees. All right. RIP. Yes, you can find me on Collision Course once again with Kate from Montreal the week before Brother Jay comes on for the Go Home Collision Course right before AEW Redemption, which is one of their newest pay-per-views that they have out. So yes, you can find me next week on Post Wrestling. If you have access to the Post Wrestling Cafe membership under the Patreon, $8 will get you in the door for Post Wrestling Cafe. So go ahead. Collision Course is one of the exclusive podcasts on that particular Patreon feed. Also, as Brother Jay mentioned, you can find me as well on Ring Theory, not only right here on Nefarious Media Network, but also on Headcanon Graps X Cross by Ring Theory. So Ring Theory has its own channel, and as well, SBF Styles Break Fights also has its own dedicated YouTube channel. In addition to being a part of Nefarious Media Network, you can find not only the proper SBF podcast, which comes at you once a month, right after every big UFC premium numbered event, PNE. But now I have had the debut episode of This Week in MMA. So it's definitely the opposite of the SBF podcast, where we can range between an hour and a half to 2 hours to this time 2.5 hours. But This Week in MMA is going to be brought to you every single Wednesday, hopefully. Hold me accountable, y'all. But yes, This Week in MMA is going to be a brief run through of everything that's happened leading up to the Wednesday, and also for the rest of that particular work week, what else will be going on within the world of MMA. Our debut episode within 7 to 10 minutes, we're hoping to have them in. Again, just something digestible that could get you prepared for what's going on, not just in the UFC, but also in Professional Fighters League, PFL, whether it's one championship, whether it's your boy Jake Paul at it again with Most Valuable Promotions. Who knows? Conor McGregor might end up in Most Valuable Promotions MMA if the prediction of Brother Jay is correct. So I just try to cover everything within something digestible, something short and sweet that'll get you prepared as far as knowing what to look out for in regards to the world of mixed martial arts within the week. So this past week, again, was the debut episode in which I talked about what's going on with the court case or the lawsuit, the class action lawsuit that was proposed by principal fighter Cajun Johnson against Zuffa. We also talked about PFL getting a new CCO, Chief Communications Officer, which is the first of its kind within that brand and within that promotion. And we also had a lead up pretty much for the UFC International Fight Week, which I also included the inductions. And we didn't get a chance to run through this, Brother Jay, but congratulations to everybody who was inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame class of 2026, whether it be Mighty Mouse Demetrius Johnson, whether it be Chris Weidman, whether it be Joanna Jędrzejczyk and Zhang Wei Li for their first fight, which is considered the greatest women's martial arts, mixed martial arts fight of all time. And I find it very, very hard to choose anything above that right now. I believe it as well. And just one of the top 10 fights of all time altogether. I would put it up there as well. I wouldn't dispute that as much as well. Also, we had the induction of Dominic Cruz, the Dominator, into the Hall of Fame. And I believe there was a contributor, a longtime UFC editorial director. His name is escaping me.
Thomas Gerbasi.
Yes, Thomas Gerbasi. Thank you. The late Thomas Gerbasi. He passed away in late 2025. So congratulations to him and his family as he's been inducted posthumously. So shout out to everybody who has been inducted. And I saw a great moment real quick. I know this is within my plug, but I saw a great moment between the former foe of both Demetrius Johnson and Dominic Cruz, Joe Benavidez, who went up to just congratulate Mighty Mouse. And he's a class act. And I posted that within that particular, I commented that within that particular post on IG, to which Joe B actually liked that particular comment. So shout out to Joe Benavidez, aka Joe B. Wan Kenobi. We're going to get that nickname over even if he's retired. That brother is a class act. I love that brother. So nice. Shout out to everybody who was inducted in the UFC Hall of Fame. So, but yeah, that's just telling you guys, yes, stay tuned. Again, it's just like a quick news dump for this week in MMA, just everything that's involving the sport. So stay tuned to that every Wednesday, either right here on Nefarious Media Network's YouTube channel or over at the Styles Breaks Fights YouTube channel. As far as Nefarious Media Network as a whole, stay tuned this week. We're going to be having a parlay episode coming up. If you're listening to this later on, there should be a parlay episode in your feed titled, So What Do You Want to Talk About? Because there's just so many things going on, not only within the world of news and politics, but also in the world of sports and combat sports. So many things that we're going to dive in, especially in reference to professional wrestling, whether it be a certain Chicago and just coming off the bench, just making his Jordan moment where it's just like, you know what, I'll stop playing baseball and go back and just win a title. Although it didn't take this Chicago in another year or 2 years to get back into the thick of things. It just took him like 3 months. And then he was like, you know what, I'm just going to come back and go straight to the title picture. So we're going to talk about that as well as some other news going on within the world on the latest edition of the Parlay. And like Brother Jay said, we also have other shows going on. The Kings of Sport proper. We also have Ring Theory. We also have Brother Chris, whenever he wants to get his political show off the ground, we will have that up off the ground. All that stuff you can find on all of our social media platforms, including right here on YouTube, anywhere you listen to podcasts. If you want to follow us, it's free to follow us in any of our social media platforms, whether it be Twitter X, whether it be Instagram, Facebook, Blue Sky, TikTok. All of those ways that you can follow us are absolutely free. But if you got a little bit of change in your pocket and you are so impelled, go ahead over to patreon.com/Nefarious Media Network. $3 gets you in the door. We talked about $8 for Post Wrestling Cafe. We trimmed that down even more. $3 gets you in the door for 300 plus hours of audio entertainment, including some exclusive audio interviews and audio clips that you can only find on the Patreon. And that includes Main Event Jay Lacey's interview with the ravishing Playboy himself, Trip Rogers. So that's up on the feed, as well as other exclusive content that we're trying to get out to there more as well. I'm also trying to get the This Week in MMA exclusively on Patreon about 24 to 48 hours before I put it out to anybody else. So stay tuned to our Patreon, patreon.com/Nefarious Media Network. So I think that is all we got for our plugs. Brother Jay, again, thank you, brother, for joining me once again. You're always coming through with the knowledge, and I appreciate you spending your time with me. I know you got your family and you got some things going on, but we appreciate you as always, brother.
Appreciate you having me, man. Appreciate you having me on the platform, bro.
Always a pleasure, brother. And with that, we're going to go ahead on and close it. 2.5, a brisk 2.5 hours as we went through everything UFC 329. Thank you guys for tuning in and hanging with us till the end. Until next time, I've been Ray, he's been Jay, and you've been locked into another installment of the Styles Break Fights podcast. Until next time, peace out. Go ahead with the fist. Bye, y'all.